Good evening and welcome to the program. This evening our guest is Brad Ryan, and Brad is the lead singer for the Front Page Band. Brad, welcome to the program and thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Cosmo.
Lead singer for the Front Page Band, and how many members are there in the band?
Four.
Four.
Four-piece combo.
So, yeah.
But we make a lot of noise.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good. What kind of music?
Well, we started off, the band's been together for maybe a little bit more than a dozen years now. I used to sing for other bands, and I decided to give this a try myself. And we started off really mostly doing classic hits, rock and roll, what you do when you were in your 30s. And then the phone would ring, and I'd get a call from a club in South Boston, and they'd say, "Can you do a night of Motown?" And I would say, "Well, sure." I'd hang up the phone, and I'd say, "Oh, my God, how am I going to get on?" But it happened, and then the same thing would happen, and Elks would call, "Can you do traditional?" And we would do that. Someone wanted us in Beverly at a club up there to do a night of country music. So as time goes on, when you're doing 4-hour nights of these, pretty soon you find out you've become fairly eclectic.
You can do all of this.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's probably the reason that we work every weekend that we want to work.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of good.
And we just mix it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you were asked to play some type of tunes that you weren't normally playing, did you go out and rehearse right after that, or get everyone together, or
Yeah,
where'd you get the music?
No,
and all
we
that?
haven't. I think we had a rehearsal 1 or 2 times, maybe 12 years ago when we started. And that's
Really
pretty
not
much
much
it.
time for that,
No,
right?
there
You're too
isn't.
busy playing
The
gigs.
internet's helpful.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Get
you
a
can
lot
find some sheet music on the internet, and
Right.
we email back and forth. And plus, I have really, really quality musicians too that have been around, and there's
Yeah.
not too much that 1 or 2 of them haven't played. So I'm pretty confident.
Now,
and
what's your background in music? What's your training?
A little bit of piano when I was a youngster, and then I quickly, probably right after the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, I had to have a guitar.
Guitar, right.
But strangely enough, those few lessons, or maybe even few years of piano, it really does help. It just gives you such an overview for everything else.
Makes you understand music.
It does. You just
Besides, beyond
picture
the melody, it's the rhythm and the bass and everything else.
and a little theory about it.
And a little theory about
And
it.
I was self-taught on harmonica and guitar and a little saxophone too.
Really?
But there wasn't enough room in the van anymore.
Doesn't sound like there's any room in any of them. Well, what are the players that you have? Who are the other members of the band? What instruments do they play?
We have a bass guitar and a drummer, of course, for our rhythm section, and a fantastic lead guitar player. And I kind of pivot between guitar and keyboard. Actually got back into the keyboard 5 or 6 years ago to put some bells in and vibraphones, and it's not so much piano, but nice effects.
Right.
And it really sweetens up the sound very nicely. And they're all good singers. We have some nice 3- and 4-part harmonies when we do some of our
Really?
Motown things. And you can close your eyes and maybe think it's the Temptations. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Do you have a little choreography that goes with all of that?
Well, not that much. No.
You mentioned the harmonica. Tell us about the harmonica. Are they in different keys, harmonica?
Yes.
Now, harmonica is a little smaller than the piano, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you blow into it.
Well, yeah. I don't know how technical I can get on this. I play the cross harmonica, the cross harp, where if we're in a certain key, to get the blues sort of a sound, I wouldn't blow in the same key. I take a key that's a little different, and I actually inhale, and it gives you. It's called cross harp playing, and
Is it half key off when you do that?
it's actually it's 4 steps off.
4 steps off.
Yeah.
Out of the
It's
same
quite different
aperture.
Yeah. Yes.
You're
yeah.
blowing in, it's G. You're blowing back out again, it's what, C or something like that?
Exactly. I've never been asked to explain that before.
Wow.
Can you tell?
Oh, well, there we go. We'll get into some real technical stuff here, folks. Now, do you have one of those contraptions where you can actually put the harmonica on the thing and play the guitar at the same time?
No.
I saw Jonathan Edwards do that. It's just
Oh, yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Just amazing. He can play
Yeah.
the harmonica on the guitar and he's dancing around it.
Dylan and Jonathan.
Yeah, so you kind of just take the harmonica.
I drop everything.
You drop everything and you
And
stop
I
playing
grab
the baby.
it and I cup
Yeah.
it and
Now, when you're playing the harmonica, I'm interested in this, believe it or not. When you're playing the harmonica, are you trying to just get the air through one of those apertures, or are you trying to grab a group of them? And if so, how do you just make it go through one? Because those things are much smaller than the average mouth.
A little bit of both. I guess the way that studied players do it is they use their tongue to cover the holes that they don't want sound to come out of.
Ah.
I've never been that studied at it, but after a while you learn with just certain lip formations how to get one out, how to get a couple out.
Right.
And after a time, even if it isn't exactly what you might have had in your head,
Yeah.
it works.
It works. Well, I
yeah.
mean, that,
We
you
hope.
know, it does work, and it's a nice
Yeah.
sound in a band. It's
Yeah, well,
really
not only
nice sound.
that, but it has a bendability to it based on the amount of suction or the amount of air you push out. Those reeds are so thin that you can, this is where your blues, this is where it really comes from, is that you can bend that note.
Sort of like a bending a string in the guitar.
Exactly, yeah, and it gives a very nice effect. So now all of a sudden you can really put some emotion into a little thing
Right.
like this. You can really.
Now, do you have one harmonica or more than one?
I play in a couple of different keys, but I don't have a lot. I used to have
What keys
more.
are they?
When we're playing in the key of A, I have a D harp, and when we're playing in the G, I have a C. So it's 4
Okay.
steps up.
I
The thing is, when you have let's say a C harmonica, when you blow into it, that's the C.
Right.
But when you inhale, that's the G.
Right.
And that's why it works with the G,
I see. Oh, I see. So that's a progression of chords.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
get
starting
you.
to understand it
Wow.
now, too.
But what happens when you have to get into that seventh, you know, that one like the D or something like that? You just move around to get it?
I don't do anything.
Ah, well, there you go. You just keep.
I pick up the guitar.
He knows what he's doing, folks, I'm telling you. He knows what he's doing. Pick up the guitar. We're going to hit a D. I'm going to grab that guitar.
Right.
Well, that's very good. How do you maintain a harmonica? I hate to ask so many questions about harmonica, but this is interesting. Do you have to wash it or clean it out or something? Or
I guess the thing you're supposed to do
is it like wine and cheese?
You're supposed to keep it in water
Okay.
before you play it.
Okay.
And you'd have, I've seen several professionals with their harmonicas in their kind of glass of water there. and
It's
it
sure
keeps
it's
the
water.
reeds-
It's not like scotch. You wouldn't
No, no, that's-
like dip it in scotch and leave it there, right?
I haven't done that. no,
Okay.
no.
Oh, that's interesting. And of course you play the guitar.
Yeah.
And you have a guitar here. And I was wondering if you'd like to play a little
I
tune.
thought
or
you'd never
strum.
ask. I would
Yeah.
love to.
Well, we had to get off the harmonica, and I was
That
ready.
would be great, yeah. A nice acoustic guitar, which I don't play that often in the band. But it's
That's
nice.
right. You would have. You're all plugged in, right? When you play.
Pretty much, yeah. We're pretty electric, although these are quite electric too. Now these acoustic guitars.
Right.
This is Can I play a little happy song, a little rowdy
Yeah.
song? That be okay?
Yeah.
The sun is hot and that old clock is moving slow, and so am I. The weekend passes like molasses in wintertime, and it's July. I'm getting paid by the hour and older by the minute. Boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call it a day and say, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care, 'cause it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Nice message, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? This lunch break is gonna take all afternoon and maybe half the night. Tomorrow morning I know there'll be hell to pay, but that's all right. I haven't had a day off now in over a year. My Jamaican vacation's gonna start right here. If the phone's for me, you can tell them I just sailed away. And then you can pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care, 'cause it's 5 o'clock somewhere. You know, I could pay off my tab, pour myself in a cab, and be back to work by 2. But at a moment like this, well, I can't help but wonder, what would my friend Cosmo do? You know, I think he'd say, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. I don't care. Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
A good message, too.
Nice message. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we
You just want to pull
started
you,
playing it.
just pull your mic up if you would, just to put it back on your seat there.
Please, okay.
Yeah, just drop it back there. That'll be good. Well, that's, I mean, that's a really happy song.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a really happy song.
Yep. It's got a Margarita
It does.
feel to it. It
That's what I
sounds
was
like
thinking of.
Margaritaville.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What are the most difficult songs to play?
I guess probably some of the, maybe the old standards, which are some of my favorites as well. And the song that comes to mind is maybe one of the oldest songs that we know that the band plays from Casablanca, and that's As Time Goes By.
As Time Goes By,
You know,
right.
a lot of these songs that Sinatra would sing and some of these older standards, they sound so smooth and so flowing to listen to them. And then you look at the chord sheets on this, you look at the music and say, wow, this is, sometimes it's every word has a different chord change. And they're really...
And it's not just the major chords either. You get in there
No.
with sixths and ninths and all that kind of thing, right?
That's right. Diminished, augmented.
Yeah, and of course everybody knows those songs too, so you can't just take off on your own and make up something.
That's right. Yeah,
Everyone knows where it's going.
You got it right. You got to have them
Yeah.
right. Or if you hit something a little bit wrong, you can say it was a jazz chord.
Yeah. So, what are some of the places that you play, that your band plays, front page band?
Yeah, we do restaurants and clubs. We're not afraid to do a nice, fun, rowdy local bar. And we're lucky enough that we have a good run at a lot of the civic clubs. We play a lot of the Elks. We probably play maybe 12 different Elks halls for the members' dinners, and they get used to a certain sound, a certain band.
Now, how would people get in touch with Front Page Band?
Well, we have a website, which is www.frontpagefunctions.com, and you can find out a little bit about the band and the bios on the guys in the band.
Now, furthest place that you've traveled is you're out of Billerica. Are you a Billerica band? You're
well, we're from all over. I've been in Billerica for almost 25 years now.
where did you grow up?
In Arlington.
In Arlington. Okay, you went to Arlington High School.
Yes,
Ah.
I did. Yeah.
And you
Sometimes.
sometimes you went to Arlington High School. Yeah, I hear you. I saw the wink. I saw the wink. I get it.
Yeah. I got a
Too
nice
busy with
little
your
house.
rock and roll. Do you ever have a situation where you're playing and all of a sudden like a string breaks on the guitar? Or?
Oh, sure. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. That'll happen. We're pretty lucky. We always manage. We have a spare,
You reach over and
a
grab it.
universal guitar that anyone can grab. That's usually fairly tuned up.
Ah, that's
I'm
good.
very lucky too because I have my piano, my small piano rig, really right next to me,
So you can just trade off.
so that I can just do left-handed, piano playing and
Yeah.
continue the.
Now, the other difficult thing would be, and this is a little more difficult to take care of, is, no one is immune to getting a cold once in a while, no matter how well you try to keep your health up. So if you kind of get like a little hoarse voice, or you can't make those high notes, or something's happened, you got a cold, and what happens then? One of
It's
the other
tough.
guys fills in, or
Well, for a
What-
couple of songs.
do you
but
do
it's-
your Louis Armstrong impersonation?
It's
for the
tough.
night?
Well, unknowingly, yes, I do. But a lot of times, some of the tricks are, of course, there's lozenges and a few things like that. But one thing that's really great is steam. If
Oh, really?
you inhale some steam periodically for that afternoon, and then half the secret is to, if you have a bad cold, just to be dried out.
Yeah.
So a couple of Sudafed or something like that. If
So
you're
you
dried
s-
out,
you
you
kinda
won't be
take care of it,
coughing quite
right.
as much. And so.
Now, do you kind of take care of your throat? Are you a smoker?
No.
Okay,
No.
so you watch
I
the
took
chords?
lessons for 2 years,
Uh-huh.
singing lessons, and that was quite a while ago. And in fact, I had done some throat damage back in those early days in the
From-
rock and roll bands.
You
and,
mean just from
just from not knowing how to sing and not
straining
know how to
everything?
project and how to strain. And you would, I'd really wake up with some pretty bad laryngitis sometimes after singing.
Mhm.
Maybe 3, maybe 4 nights of this. And the best thing was to take lessons. And of course, they can't teach you how to sing. That's not what that's designed for. But they sure can teach you how to breathe and how to reach from way down and project. And you need a fuel, they used to say, in the fire down there to get the engine going. And you really learn a lot
So
of tricks.
before a performance, do you drink juices or something like that? Or?
Yes, I try to stay very hydrated.
Okay, so that helps a lot.
I do a little bit of perspiring up there too, so
Yeah,
it's,
well, I can
you
I
have
can
to really
imagine.
make sure you get
Right. Do you guys move around a lot when you're playing? You're kind of a,
quite a bit.
yeah, okay. Wow, that sounds great.
Wireless. I have the wireless electric and
Oh,
the electric
okay.
guitar.
So you're not,
We have this one point in the night when we're playing My Way. It's become sort of a tradition and a trademark of the band. When we get to the end of My Way, the band will hold the note, a crescendo, and the drums are going crazy, and the audience doesn't know what's going to go on, and I jump right off the stage, no matter how high it is. Not the gazebo, but a stage.
right.
And I have, we have a flower, a presentation. We find usually a nice elderly couple that's dancing, and we hand them the flowers. And
Nice
if
touch.
the stage isn't too big, I'll jump back up. If it is, I'll walk around.
Nice touch. That's
Yes,
great.
yeah.
Would you play something else for us?
I sure will. Sure will. How about an Elvis?
Oh, yeah, Elvis.
I think we get more requests for Elvis than anything. From the movie Blue Hawaii. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Yeah, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things were meant to be. And take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. No, I can't help falling in love with you.
Excellent. Excellent. Nice vocal.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice vocal.
I used to do a little Elvis impersonation.
Uh-huh.
But now it's become part me, part Elvis. I can't tell the difference. I think that's a
I
little
see.
more me than
I see. What does your wife think of that?
the Elvis?
Yeah.
Well, when I say I'll be up in a minute, honey. she likes it.
You say she helps out a little bit with the...
She does. We've
the
been
band?
married. We're going on 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Beth, my real best buddy.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's missed any of our shows.
Really? Is
Yeah.
she a critic? Will she tell you something?
No.
No?
No.
She'll always say
well,
it's great?
a bit.
Yeah.
She'll say this is a little too loud, or this is, you said something really great, but nobody could hear you. You didn't project enough, or everyone heard you and you should never say that again. I guess she is good. I guess she is.
That's good to
yeah.
get that feedback.
She is great.
That's good to get the feedback. You do blues, you mentioned as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we really don't do that much blues in the band, but when you have the harmonica,
Yeah.
you can always put a blues little feel to the solos. And I guess, although you probably can't tell from these, I could almost do some soul type singing too, blues and soul and gospel, and they're so tied in. But we'll do some of the standards like, oh, I like Since I Fell for You, and some of these kind of things where, At Last, Etta James, and you can really put some blues into these. You don't have to, but you can, and I sort of choose to hold the notes a little bit longer than you might have heard on the record, have the band pause a little bit more at the end, put as much drama into it as we can. I love that blues sort of sound,
Do you get those nights when it seems like everything just came right out great, it just was right on? I've heard that a lot from different musicians, that it just everything, in other words, not just one person, you've got 4 people, and like the whole band was just right on. It just worked perfect that night.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We're pretty lucky. I'm happy to report, Cosmo, that most nights are pretty good.
Oh,
even if you just something about it. If you're really into it, you know, we love playing it. We love each other. It's just, even if it's on autopilot. I mean, even if you, strange as it may seem, even if you're not feeling it 1,000%, it still just seems to happen.
So you guys are enjoying yourself.
We really do. We really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
We
do you have
would
another?
do this if we didn't get
Do you have
paid.
another job besides this? Huh?
Well, I worked in the corporate world for 27 years. I
Ah.
took an early retirement.
Got burnt out.
Sure. I took an early retirement maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
So I was able to concentrate a little bit more on the music and build a little bit of a nice website, a little promo package, and get out there and pound the pavement, sell it a little bit now.
Yeah,
I'm
you're having
enjoying
fun.
it.
This is a good
I really
time
am.
for you, right?
I really
Yeah.
am.
Now, if you guys ever thought of, have you made a CD?
Well, you know what? Since we do covers,
You wouldn't be doing a CD
We
because you
really
don't
wouldn't.
originate the songs yourself.
we record a lot of the shows through the sound system, through the board, as they say,
Yeah.
onto tape or onto CD, and it's a great learning tool. And in a sense, it becomes our rehearsal a little bit. You know, we know something well enough to sneak it in during a great night that we're not that familiar with, and then we can critique it afterwards. So, and also when you're firing on all cylinders, these tapes can be great little snippets for the website or for promo packages
Right,
or
that's
that
right.
type of thing. Nobody wants to hear more than a minute of your version of My Way, though. I mean, you got to put a
true.
short little thing on the CD and move along.
Yeah, that's true. Did you belong to many bands as you were growing up?
Maybe half a dozen.
Half a dozen? Well, that's
Half a
quite a
dozen,
bit.
Yeah,
That's
but
quite
this
a
was the one. This is when I
This really
really
stuck.
got to do my thing, my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the 4 of you been together since the start, or have you had changed out?
No, all new members, but I've had one fella that left for a couple of years and came back.
Came back.
A drummer that I work with in another band,
Mhm.
and when a drum spot became available, in fact, he said from that other band, he said, he's been with me maybe 6 years now, he said, I remember you playing piano, you should get back into that. And I'm glad he did, because that started
Right.
a whole new
Sure.
thing.
Now, Front Page, where did that name come from?
We went by the headliners for about 2 weeks, and then somebody informed me, I don't remember if it was a nice person or an attorney, that there was a headliners out in central Massachusetts. So we went back to the drawing board, and along those lines of headline sort of thing, Front Page, there was a club, I believe up in Lowell, that was called the Front Page for many years. I don't think it's around anymore. I think that might have inspired us.
Wow. Your music is just great. I wonder if you could do another song for us.
Thank you. Sure. I never
That's
say no.
it's
This is
quite
when
a-
I'm the most comfortable.
That's quite a pick you have there, by the way. That's a
This is
very
the
colorful pick.
confetti pick, and the beauty of this pick is that when you drop it
You
on
can
the
find
rug
it.
or the floor, you can find it, except for your rug right now.
Yeah, that's true. You could.
Little boy in a baseball hat stands in the field with his ball and bat. He says, I am the greatest player of them all. He puts his bat on his shoulder tosses up the ball. And the ball goes up and the ball comes down, swings his bat all the way around. The world's so still you can hear the sound. The baseball falls to the ground. Now the little boy, he doesn't say a word, picks up his ball, he's undeterred. He says, I am the greatest there's ever been. And then he grits his teeth and he tries again. He makes no excuses, he shows no fear. He just closes his eyes and listens to the cheers. Little boy adjusts his hat, picks up his ball and stares at the bat. He says, I am the greatest, and the game is on the line. And he gives his all, just one last time. And the ball goes up like the moon so bright, swings his bat with all his might. The world's so still as it can be, the baseball falls. And that's strike three. Now it's supper time and his mama calls. Little boy starts home with his bat and ball. He says, I am the greatest, that is a fact. But even I didn't know I could pitch like that.
Wow. Now, where did that song come from?
I heard Kenny Rogers do that.
Kenny Rogers did
It's a
that.
fabulous song about point of view, about your perception.
Yeah.
And through this whole song, you think that he's the batter and that he's not doing that well. And then in the very last line, you find out he was the pitcher,
Yeah.
and he saved the day.
Yeah. Oh, songs have a message, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
do. You know, it's been a great half hour, Brad.
Thank you
And
so
what we're going to do is we're going to end a little differently. I'd like you to sing a song for the as we're ending the program.
Sure, sure.
But I do want to mention that Brad Ryan is the lead singer for the Front Page Band, and if it's any indication from what Brad is singing, this is an excellent group, and it's fantastic music. And they are local, and they have a website, and he mentioned that earlier to you. So we're going to have Brad take us out. I'm Cosmo Cavicchio. Thanks for watching. Good night, and we'll see you next time. And Brad, just take us out for a couple of minutes. That'd be great.
Cosmo, thank you. So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. They were singing, bye.